You are what I'm looking for. I know what I'm looking for.
For today's video, I'm going to make some clean and simple cards using simple pattern paper. I'm going to be using the 49 and Market Spectrum Gardenia 6x8 collection pack. And I'm just going to use one piece of cardstock out of here. This cardstock measures 6x8, and I'm going to cut out 4 panels. I'm using the GINA double stitched rectangle die set, and this is the largest one, and I've cut out 4 panels out of one sheet of this cardstock. Now I'm saving these scraps for a bonus project at the end of this video, so I'll set these aside and come back to those when I'm done my cards. So I've gone ahead and cut out some black cardstock, and I've used the GINA single stitched rectangle. This is the largest rectangle from the GINA single stitched rectangle set, and I've also taken an oval from the GINA Master Layouts die set 1, and I've cut the center of my single stitched rectangle because I'm going to layer this in behind my colored cardstock, and you're not going to see it, so I'm able to get 2 pieces out of one little piece of black cardstock. I also cut out a white oval from the Master Layouts die set 1, and this is how I'm going to put my cards together. So I'm going to adhere everything together and then move to the next step. I like the clean and simple and bright pops of color that this layout provides. And we have a nice margin white space around our focal image. So I'm going to pull in the Gardenia butterfly laser cut elements, and I'm going to dig through here and pick out a couple of butterflies that match each of the card. So I'm kind of focusing on the color layout of each panel on the cards. I'm picking out 2 butterflies per card and angling them sort of towards the top of the oval. And I'll leave a little space down at the bottom for my greeting. I'm going to come back later on and add some foam squares to pop up my butterflies. So for now, I'm just setting them on top of the card. So I'm going to grab the GINA Bold and Bloom mini stamp set, and I'm going to grab a sentiment from here that says birthday wishes. And I'm just going to kind of figure out where I want this to be on my card and make sure that it'll fit nicely. I'm going to grab an acrylic block, and I'm going to line up my card on my grid mat, and then I'm going to put the sentiment where I want it. I'll pick up the stamp with my block and use the grid lines on my block to make sure that it's nice and straight. And then I'm going to rub away any of the manufacturing residue that might be stuck to the stamp. Because this is a brand new stamp and I haven't used it before, I want to make sure that I get a good, crisp, clean impression. And then I'll grab some VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and I'll ink up my stamp. I'm making sure that my card base is lined up nice and straight on my grid mat, and I'll press and stamp. And then I'm going to grab some of those foam squares. I have a few different sizes. I have a little 1/4 inch foam square and a 1/8 of an inch foam square. And I'm just popping up my butterflies and placing them kind of floating around on the panel. And then that's going to be it for the card. Super simple, nothing overly complicated. So I'm going to crease the fold. I'll use my bone folder and crease the folds here. Now these cards are ready to go. The very last thing that I wanted to do was add a little bit of shimmer. I have an aqua shimmer pen. This is a Nuvo shimmer pen. And I'm just going to paint the butterflies so that they have a little bit of sparkle to them. And then that's going to be absolutely it. I'm not going to do anything else to these cards. Here's a look at all 4 cards that I made. And you can really see that sparkle on those butterflies. Really pretty. When it catches the light, it's just gorgeous. So this was super simple. I just used a piece of pattern paper, and I was able to get 4 cards out of one sheet of pattern paper. Now for the bonus project. I'm going to pull in those little scraps of colored cardstock that I had from the beginning of the video, and I'm going to cut them up into little tiny skinny strips. These are what's left over from cutting my rectangles. So I'm just cutting up little strips here, and I'll apply some adhesive directly to my card base. And then I'm going to start lining up little tiny strips on an angle and cutting away the excess and using all those pieces to create some interest on the front of this card. So I'll add a bunch of strips and then I'll flip it over and cut off the excess and then continue using those leftover pieces to fill in my pattern. And then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing on the opposite corner, just a smaller area, not as big as the bottom. And then I'm going to grab that Birthday Wishes stamp set and I'm just going to stamp it a whole bunch of times across those lines. So stamping it off the page a little bit so that it looks more natural. And there we go. And then I'm going to add one of each color of the butterflies that I have, kind of on an angle across the front of this card. And then that's absolutely it. I popped up those butterflies on some foam squares as well to create some dimension. And here's a look at all of the cards we made today out of one sheet of 6x8 pattern paper. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. I had so much fun creating these beautiful bright pops of color cards. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend it here with me. I appreciate the support as always. Coming up on screen are a couple of videos I think you may enjoy. Have yourself a lovely day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!